And then eventually what you'll be using these planning pages to help you with writing your essay. I think we're going to skip ahead here for a moment and actually take a look at the actual documents. For example, this DBQ that's written about Native Americans primarily is going to be addressing obviously Native American life before Europeans came into contact with them, and then what their lives were like afterwards. So you can see here, and really I'm not going to describe each document because it's more based on the process than you knowing this. But same thing as with the documents that you did with the historical context. Get a highlighter. This question asks, in what years did England and France sail to the Americas, and which regions did they explore? So I highlighted the actual countries. You've got England and France showing where they explored. You write your answers down in complete sentences. Now, a good strategy too for this is to think of the process when you look at CRQs, where there's a couple things that beyond just looking for the answer at first, there's a 4-step process that we've used in the past that have helped kids do pretty well with this. First being that you want to analyze the entire document. You want to see, obviously this one is a map. It didn't copy very well, but you can see the different continents, the oceans, and you can see the context of what they're actually describing. These are European travelers or explorers going to the New World. You can read the questions, and then obviously you want to record the main idea. This one would be European exploration. Third, you want to answer the question in complete sentences. And lastly, the 4th step is to write down a piece of outside information you can think about that connects to this actual document. So for me, I'll write down caravel, type of ship with a triangular sail that helped the sailors reach the New World. So I have my outside information over here on the left-hand side. There are other documents. If you want to take the time, you can pause the video and actually read through the documents. You can see though that we have answers that are highlighted. You have your source, and then your answers provided. It's a document on the Columbian Exchange. Again, some questions you'll see have 3 separate answers. You want to make sure you analyze what the document is providing, as well as recording a main idea. This one would be the Columbian Exchange, answering the questions, and then a piece of outside information you can add as a helpful tip. Okay, again, another document. This one's from Bartolome de las Casas. The year's 1542. Helps to talk a little bit about what happened after Europeans came into contact. So you'll find that each document is tied specifically to one of the 2 tasks, one of the 2 bullets from the previous pages. In this document, you've got the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan. And I've highlighted some of the possible answers that students may provide. And lastly, we've got a graph that is an estimation of Native American population through the years of European exploration, and showing a pretty big decline in the population base as the years go forward. Now, when you start to answer your CRQ questions, you're going to use your planning page. You can either do it one of 2 ways. You can actually plan as you go through each document, or answer all 6 documents and then fill out your graphic organizer afterwards. I find it's a little bit easier for kids to answer their questions first and then come back to the planning pages. With that in mind, after answering the documents you have provided in front of you, you're going to use your graphic organizer. In the very top bubble, ask you for your paragraph, topic, sentence. And this should not be a trick. You're going to pull this information right here at the very top from the task. Okay, so you can see up here that the task for this essay, the first one, is to describe the cultures of Native Americans prior to the arrival of the Europeans. Okay, your teachers aren't looking for you to rewrite something so creative that you miss the point. A relevant topic sentence for this body paragraph would be, there were many Native American tribes that lived and flourished in the New World before coming into contact with Europeans. It has the same idea or concept as the task. Okay, you also fill in the bubbles. The actual circles are going to be for your documents. So for example, we chose that document 2 deals with Native Americans before Europeans. They're talking about Native American spirituals, how they believe that they came from caves and that Earth was their mother and that they relied on the land. Another document would be document 5 that showed the Aztec capital. They had massive architecture, religious temples, and a population of over 200,000 people. After you fill in each circle, you're going to get that information again from the individual documents. You then put down outside information. This is information that does not come from the documents. This comes from your brain and the learning that your teacher has taught you and that you've learned through your assignments and your activities up to this point. So I went back to my brainstorming page and filled in the information that I had here, and then I just cross-referenced it with the information that came from the documents. So I put down all the information that is down here in this bottom part for outside information did not come anywhere in the documents. Nowhere in the documents where you see them talking about Cortez or the floating gardens or Montezuma or the Iroquois living in present-day New York. All of that information is good outside information that you can eventually use in your body paragraphs. And then you can see we did that for the second paragraph too. This sentence right here actually comes from the task. So it's talking about Europeans affecting the Native American tribes in the New World. And I put in there in both positive and negative ways. The Columbian Exchange, you can analyze and interpret it that it did bring positive effects to the Native Americans as well as negative effects, the negative being diseases, the positive being new plants and animals being brought to their cultures. As well as document 4 talking about the greed of the Spaniards and doing it for gold and greed. Okay, and then again I went back to my planning page for the brainstorming and I included all the information from that planning page that is nowhere in the documents. So you take information not in the documents and you put it down here. Again, you're getting that from your brain, from learning that you've done in the past couple weeks leading up to your DBQ. Okay, I know that was a lot of information. 60-second recap on the brainstorming, CRQ questions, and planning of your essay. When you first get this page, your information page, the easiest thing to do, grab a highlighter. You're going to highlight information in the instructions, the title of your DBQ, key information in your historical context, which is the background of your essay, as well as the key information from the task. What your first bullet talks about, what your first body paragraph will be about, and then secondly, what your second body paragraph will be about. Take a brainstorming page. You can just take out a blank sheet of paper, draw 2 boxes. You put the task from one of the bullets on top, the second below, and you fill in information from your brain or your prior learning that is related to the task, those 2 bullets. Any of this information can be used as outside information as long as it's not in the documents. Your planning pages, if you want to go along as you answer questions, you can do that, or I recommend answering all the CRQ questions and then going back and filling out this information afterwards. You take the documents, you're going to highlight key information that is on the documents, read the questions. Okay, you can write down a main idea. This is about European exploration. Step 3, you answer the question, and step 4, outside information. You do that for all of your documents. When you are finished, you take the planning page, you take the task, this is the bullet from the first page that your teacher will give you, and you turn that into a sentence. It will look very similar to the actual bullet that is present. Then you find documents that apply to your topic sentence. So this one being about Native American tribes before Europeans came into contact with them. Document 2 and document 5 relate to that. Go back to your planning page, your brainstorming page, and take any outside information you had listed and put that right into your outside information, and you can use that for your body paragraphs. Then you do that for the second body paragraph or second task or bullet. and then you're good to go.